Welcome back to Peer-Guided DBT Lessons, provided by DBT Skills Application, Peers Helping Peers. This week's lesson, marked 2-9, Part 1. In our Distress Tolerance module, we'll be looking at willing hands. Once again, we would like to remind everyone we are simply peers helping peers, working together to bring about more peaceful, content, and ultimately happier lives. We are born to speak with our hands. Researchers have found that infants who use more hand gestures at 18 months old have greater language abilities later on. Hand gestures speak to great intelligence. It's interesting that our brain gives a disproportionate amount of attention to the fingers and hands as compared to the rest of the body. This could be in part because our first touch is with our hands, and we seek the hands of our parents for safety. Hand gestures help us to take what's in our mind and make it intelligible to others. Gesture is really linked to speech, and gesturing while you talk can really power up your thinking. Gesturing can help people form clearer thoughts, speak in tighter sentences, and use more declarative language. Body language is also crucial in helping communicate our emotions and motivations to others. We have an emotion, our body responds, and then we speak. The body responds first. What is really being communicated is the underlying emotion and motivation, how you're really feeling about something. There are several common gestures people will use that are directly linked to our emotions. For example, when a person uses the gesture illustrated here of clenching hands in front of the body, they're exercising some sort of self-restraint. They are symbolically clenching themselves back and withholding a negative reaction, usually anxiety or frustration. This illustration, showing fist shapes and movements, are usually symbols of inner aggression. Another gesture is clasping the hands over the lower abdomen or crotch. When a person finds himself or herself in a position where they might feel vulnerable, but are required to display confidence and respect, he or she might clasp their hands over the crotch or lower abdomen. Another gesture, hand wringing and finger squeezing, are very common nonverbal anxiety displays. These signals are particularly frequent during times of higher stress levels, when a person feels the odds for a successful outcome are particularly low, or there is nothing or little else which can be done. The arms can act as the doorway to the body and the self. When they are crossed, they form a closed defensive shield, blocking out the outside world. Shields act in two ways. One is to block incoming attacks, and the other is a place behind which the person can hide and perhaps not be noticed. Hands may raise in fear. When a man or woman shows the nonverbal emotion of fear, their hands may raise in front of their face or trunk to protect the body. The palm facing outward towards others gesture fends them off or pushes them away. If you have your palm facing up, you will be perceived as both non-threatening and open. While keeping your palms open, you appear more trustworthy and sincere. Remember that it goes both ways. Our body language reflects and inadvertently affects our mindset at the same time. Even if we are really interested in what's being said, a defensive posture may cause us to adopt a closed-minded and secluded position. An open body is a prelude to an open mind. Another example is the gesture of clenching your fists, and is a common side effect of being angry. But clenching your fists can also make you become angry in the first place. Additionally, it can also influence the attitude of those around you. It can actually make them angry as well. By changing your posture, in other words, your body language, you can change your feelings. Keeping your palms open does more than just affect how others perceive you. It makes it more difficult for you to lie. The emotions that you are feeling and your physical gestures are directly linked. Willing hands is a way of accepting reality physically, with our bodies. From a DBT perspective, acceptance is a process that reduces our suffering and increases our feelings of freedom by allowing us to come to terms with the facts of our life as they are in the current moment. In order to do willing hands, we need to unclench our hands, turn them palms up, and relax our fingers. We simply turn our hands palms up and rest them on our lap or on the arms of our chair. When you spend most of your life trying to block out the chaos in your head and finally allow room for it to arise, and it doesn't overwhelm you, it's something to celebrate. Willing hands opens the door towards this. It aligns the mind, body, and spirit into receiving reality for what it is. Please don't miss Part 2 of this week's peer-guided DBT lessons, Distress Tolerance Module, Half Smile.